Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question. We also had an email question this week from Tom, and he says, my zucchini and squash start to develop, but then they rot. Any idea why? Is it from too much water, or do you think there's an insect issue? And next year, would you move them to a different location in the garden?
Well, let's start with location change. That's always a good idea for a number of reasons. One is the water splashing on diseased plants, dripping on the ground can be an inoculation for the following year, etc. Also, they're a peculiar plant, in my opinion. They are usually so rampant that down where my daughter lives, I think I've mentioned it before, they have to lock their car at church or they'll come out and find the front seat full of zucchini.
That's right.
Okay. Aside from that, his problem is very different. It could be disease, it could be insect, and it can be an insect-borne vector. The striped beetle, and I think it's actually called a cucumber beetle, can carry, I don't know if it's a virus, and it really doesn't make much difference. It can carry it from one plant to the next. It can carry it from one garden to the next garden type of thing. That gets into the plant and kills from inside. Then on occasion, and I'm not that much of a vegetable gardener, but on occasion, insects that come in as little moths lay eggs. The larva eats into the center of the stem, and then as it eats, it gets bigger, and it finally gets up into the upper parts of the plant, and it's so big and fat it has taken all of the, I'll call it juice, out of the vascular system, and the plant just dies from there. So it could be any of several things. A close inspection, and where the plants are dying anyhow, cut one of the stems and then cut across it several places. See if it's hollow inside. And then as you get more out toward the newest growth, you may find a larva in it. If it's the disease carried by the cucumber beetle, it's too late to deal with this year. So changing next year and then setting up a spray program may be what you have to do.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Howard and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
Circle270media.com